Quick video here, guys. This is like a little adapter that is a lifesaver. Shout out Toasty Bros. I think that's where I first saw this. A lot of motherboards nowadays are disregard that thermal paste. I don't want to trigger anybody. That was put on there just for a split second while I did a test boot before I put it in the case. It's going to be wiped clean and started over. So don't want to hear about it in the comments. This is a little adapter that, these motherboards that come with no Type-C connector. Like, this is actually a higher end motherboard. It's Asus TUF, but it's a little dated, so it doesn't have a Type-C port on it. But most of your cases now, I can kind of spin this guy around here, have a Type-C. And especially if you're flipping PCs or even for your own use, like, everything's going to Type-C, so it's going to suck to not have your Type-C port work. So to combat that, I found these little adapters on Amazon. If I think about it, I'll put a link in the description. They're around 10 bucks. I think I paid $8 or $10 for it. I went ahead and bought like 5 of them because they're that useful. I run into this problem quite a bit. And the only caveat is you won't have full speed to the port like you normally would. I'll try to set this down here where I can get this guy open. Sorry, guys. But pretty simple thing. You just plug this into your USB 2 port that you do have, because every motherboard is going to have one of those, and then boom, you got your Type-C. Like I said, only drawback, you're not going to have the full speeds you normally would with an actual Type-C port, but it's better than not having a Type-C port at all. You can still charge your phone or, connect whatever through your Type-C. I actually would treat it kind of like when you're installing RAM. I don't think you're going to hear an audible click, but you do want to use a little bit of force, because the first time I used one of these, I thought it didn't work and just scratched the idea and moved on. And then the next build that I did, for whatever reason, I just thought, I'm going to try the thing again. And notice I just didn't push it in far enough for fear of like breaking the pins on the motherboard. So you treat it kind of like RAM. You do need to use a little bit of force, but you just plug that guy in. Pretty simple. You're gonna have one piece missing. Just match that up down here and plug her in like so, and then plug your Type-C in there. Now it is gonna extend that a little bit, but whatever, Now this is just an example I'm showing you guys. This is the height Y60, so I'm not gonna be able to leave that that way, because the graphics card riser is actually gonna be right there. So I don't think that's gonna work out. Like I said, this is just a quick example, but yeah, just solved your Type-C problems, because most, even cheap cases, are coming with Type-C on them, at least one. So those little adapters are definitely worth that 8 to 10 bucks to pick them up. But again, shout out Toasty Bros. I'm pretty sure that's where I first saw this little adapter. But anyway, peace.